Well, you mentioned flowers. Okay, so when we see a flower, and let's say go up to the flower, smell it, touch it, rather than seeing the flower then as an external entity that we're encountering, would it be in accordance with this understanding to see the experience of sight, smell, touch as modulations of consciousness rather than something external that we're coming in contact with?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes, that's right. Take the experience of seeing, touching, and smelling the flower.
Right.
Take seeing to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Are we sure that there is a flower outside
Mm-hmm.
the experience of seeing?
Yeah.
We say we are seeing the flower, but in fact, the flower is an inference.
Right.
All we can know for sure is, I am experiencing seeing,
Mm-hmm.
or there is seeing.
Yeah.
The object seen is never found. In other words, it's not seeing the flower, it is just seeing.
Yeah.
And when we go up and smell the flower, we think, I am smelling the flower. But it is in fact just the experience of smelling.
Right.
It's not the smelling. We never find the of the flower. And the same with tasting and touching.
Mm-hmm.
So when we say we see, hear, touch, taste, and smell the world, and our only knowledge of the world is the five sense perceptions.
Yeah.
Nobody has ever actually found a world that exists in its own right, independent of the experience of seeing, hearing, touching, tasting, and smelling.
Right.
So we can't even say there is seeing, hearing, touching, tasting, and smelling of the world.
Mm-hmm.
We can only legitimately say there is seeing, hearing, touching, tasting, and smelling.
Yeah.
It's not of anything.
Yeah. And it's our mind, not consciousness, but our mind, that our relative mind, so to speak, that conceptualizes
Yes.
those five or those sensory experiences into a thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. However, the intuition that there is one thing out there called a flower that we are seeing, hearing, touching, tasting, and smelling is not completely ignorant. It's based on the intuition that although seeing, hearing, touching, tasting, and smelling are five different experiences, what is truly being experienced is one.
Mm-hmm.
That is a correct intuition.
Which is awareness.
Exactly. Thought, in response to this intuition, thought posits the single object that is seen, heard, touched, tasted, and smelled. It's just the interpretation that thought gives the experience is incorrect. It is true that seeing, hearing, touching, tasting, and smelling do have a single common source. It is awareness.
Yeah.
But because the object-knowing mind can't see that awareness, it projects the single object into the world and says the object exists out there.
Yeah. This is taught in Buddhism, and I've never come to understand that before this. Even getting a vague glimpse of that, but this makes so much sense.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
So it's very interesting, Ken, because this intuition that each of us has, that there is a single object, a single something that is seen, heard, touched, tasted, and smelled. And that we all share this intuition. And materialists use this as apparent evidence for an outside world. It's called the intersubjective agreement, the agreement between different subjects. And they believe that the world is evidence, the fact that we all experience the same world is evidence that there is a world outside consciousness. In fact, it's the opposite. The world, the shared world, is evidence of shared consciousness. It is because each of our minds is precipitated from the same field of infinite awareness that the world appears to be the same to each of us. So the intersubjective agreement, in fact, indicates the shared reality of consciousness, not the shared reality of the outside world.
And to just finish the quotation, when Shakespeare said, beauty brags, but 'tis not she, he meant that seeing the world as things out there.
Yes.
And in any case, seeing some superficial beauty is not really it.
Exactly. The way he uses the word beauty in this context is beauty brags, but 'tis not she. It is the shiny surface of the object that seems to attract our attention away from consciousness towards the outside object. The object in this sense is bragging. It is saying, come to me. It is saying to the attention, leave your home in awareness and come to me, the object. Beauty brags, but it is not really she. It is not really her that is attractive. It's not the shiny surface of the object. It is the presence of awareness which is shining in our perceptions that is truly attractive.
How do you think he knew that?
That's a good question. Yeah.